Hi guys, well I'm stood here on the edge of Derwentwater just getting ready to do a walk I'm really excited about, and it's a walk that's got massive significance in the outdoor well-being sector but is little heard about. Okay guys, so just got off the bus in Seatoller. It's as far as the bus goes at this time of year. Come Easter, the bus goes all the way up to Hawes End. We're going to head off into this way and up onto the top. So setting off, today's walk is about 15 kilometres, just short of 10 miles. Should take about 5 hours of moving time. We're going to head over Maiden Moor and Catbells and talk about a few things. There's some lovely legends up there and something very meaningful that we'll get to once we're up there if I can find what I need to find. So yeah, hang around. We've got amazing weather for it, so let's make the most of this sunshine and get going. I'll bring you back when I get tired going up. See you soon. So whenever you walk, it's always a great idea to have a paper map with you instead of just relying on your phone. Just walking up through a lovely little wooded area just reminds me that centuries ago this whole scenery would have looked a lot different. You know, over the time, building houses, ships for war efforts, planes, we've removed all the trees. Come a little bit off route just to get this view. Skiddaw behind Keswick. So, out that wall that runs left to right is the path we want to be on. So somehow, come get down here. That should be fun. Oh, careful. River crossing. Oh, made it. Must have been something I said. Right, made it onto the path. Gonna head over this lovely little bridge up to the crag there. And we're gonna turn left and head up the top. Yeah, I was gonna say, if you like these walking videos, you know, this is the first one I've done in the Lake District. I'd love to do a hell of a lot more. But if you go along, I mentioned Glenn earlier, have a look at the Black Crag videos. He's based in the Lake District, does a hell of a lot of Lake District walks. I refer to them a lot, and I watch them for my own sort of downtime when I'm not able to get out in the hills myself. So yeah, Black Crag, go and have a look. Okay, so we come to a little fork in the path here. We're going to head up that little grass path there to Wilson's Build, and then we're going to go up the main path at the top to High Spy. I love that. As you come around corners, things just open up. This little waterfall. Stunning. The views don't get much better. Just beautiful walking. And we're heading up the top there. Very cool. Remnants of the mining industry. They've taken slate from up here, stone, down to build houses down there. Amazing. Okay, that's looking horizontally. We're going up to that gap up the top there. Still a ways to climb and a bit of a scramble, but it'll be worth it. Just stopped for a breather, top of Rigghead Quarries. As you can see, it's pretty steep coming up there. Just a little bit more to climb, but you can really see how industrious the quarries were here. And loads of little mine shafts dotted around. Lots of evidence of the mining that used to go on. Accommodation, food storage, mine shafts, and just piles and piles of slate. Just come out onto the saddle at the top. Still a bit chilly up here. Sun's not quite melted the ice yet. But wow, and we're headed up there. Such beautiful landscape. Wow. Just layer upon layer of hill and rock. Amazing views. I don't know if you can see that there are people up there on top of that hill. That there is called Dale Head. It's about 760 metres, I think. And where the sun hasn't got to yet, you can see there's still a lot of ice, snow. That's Dale Head Crags. Alright, that's it in High Spy. At a height of, I think, 653 metres. It's the highest point for the day. We're now going to head off that way over to Maiden Moor. I find places like this where you've reached the high point and then you've got a nice easy walk across a saddle and a ridge with stunning views. It's just a great place to slow down and think and, you know, reflect on what you've just achieved. We've just spent an hour or so constantly going uphill. I mean, look at that. And you've just got stunning features. Like this little crag here, look. Wow. It just makes you stop and have a think about the scale of things. You know, when you're down there in the thick of everything, it can all seem very important. But then when you're up here in this landscape, you know, you can feel like a tiny speck in the bigger scheme of things. And it kind of takes the pressure off a bit. I just stopped to get some drone footage on Nitting Moor. Nitting Moor? I think it's Nitting Moor. And we're going to head across to Maiden Moor now. I am enjoying the lakes. That's me just passing Maiden Moor. That's Maiden Moor up behind me in the sun. we're now going to head over to Catbells there in the distance. So, being up here on the saddle between Nitting Haw and Catbells, I notice how clear my mind is. The ringing in my ears is quietened down. I suffer quite badly from that normally. My brain is just ticking over nicely. It's not the busy mess that it can be. And I don't know, I get with all of these sort of hills and mountain, sunshine around me, I don't know if I get affected by some sort of energy of the land or if it's just a feeling of awe. It just feels lovely. It feels nice and peaceful to be here, and you can just take in the views. I don't know what half of these hills are. The lakes isn't my normal place to walk, but it's just amazing. And once we get over Catbells, we'll have a talk a bit more about getting out in nature for well-being. Wow. And that is Catbells. Beautiful. That light's just incredible. So that's Keswick, you can see buildings in the distance there. This is Catbells Hill, about 450 odd metres, so not a mountain, just a hill. But one that's on a lot of climbers' lists purely because of the views around the walk. Stunning. That's Plaque, I think I'm saying that right. And across the top to Skiddaw, up behind Keswick. Amazing. So the route down off of Maiden Moor, it's a little bit scrambly. Take your time, careful steps. Take your placement carefully, especially when it's a little bit icy on the slate, which it is at the moment, and you'll be fine. Very much like this. And like I say, be careful if there's ice about, because that's going to be slippery. I think I've said it on the channel before, but when you're walking, look for edges of rocks to put your boots on, put the centre of your sole onto. Look for nice flat ledges that you can get your whole foot on, or look for wedges where you can stick your foot in a gap and it's nice and secure. I just can't. I've got no words. Right guys, so behind me you can see Catbells and the ridgeline between, and then Keswick beyond Derwentwater. I wanted to just have a chat about the naming of Catbells. The ridgeline here plays a part in one theory. Locals used to think that a coven of witches would gather on this ridgeline in the dip between where we are and Catbells and call in the storms that harassed Derwentwater. And with the witches came their familiars, little black cats with bells on their collars. And the legend says that before a big storm you'd hear a cacophony of catbells, hence the naming of the hill. The other theory is that Catbells comes from Catbells, which would be another name for wildcat den, which for me at the moment is quite pertinent looking at ecology and forestry, because talks are well underway of reintroduction of the lynx into northern England and Scotland. So yeah, exciting. It's one of the reasons I wanted to come here today. Another one's over the other side, and we'll come back to that when I get there. That's us at the summit of Catbells. I think you'll agree that's worth it. back there in the shade at Seatoller. Came up onto Maiden Moor and High Spy through the dip and up onto Catbells to be accompanied by a couple of crows. Hello there. So the path down from Catbells is suffering quite badly from erosion. So they put up a railing, try and guide people the right way, asking people to look and stay on the main path. A little bit scrambly coming down off of Catbells towards the nose. But I believe that's the worst of it done now. Just got to get down there and then over to Keswick. So just descended Catbells. That was interesting, a little bit slippery on the slate with all the mud of all the people going up there today. Look at this. Amazing. Beautiful views. Lovely to see the restoration going on down there. Little patches of planted trees and peatland being put back together. Amazing. Good work, guys, whoever that is. So this is what I wanted to see. Now, I don't know if you can read that. I'll leave it there for a minute. So, why is that plaque pertinent to what I do? He was a great believer that getting outdoors was the best thing for your well-being. In early 1800s, as it says, he led the open air movement, started a holiday company and encouraged people to get out in the outdoors for the sake of their sanity. And that's a massive part of what I get out in the outdoors for. So yeah, quite pertinent. I was a little disappointed when doing the research for this walk that it's not massively advertised that this is here. So for anyone else that wants to look into it, the guy is Thomas Arthur Leonard. Thomas Arthur Leonard, not legend. He is a legend, but yeah. Yeah, and he was the believer that we should be outdoors for our sanity. Yeah, so as you come up from Hawes End, up the path, you hit the rock faces, and there's the plaque in the middle. Okay, firstly, look at the light on that Skiddaw and Blencathra. That's amazing. I'm just coming off the end of the walk down towards Hawes End, there, staging for the boats. I just wanted to kind of highlight this, the woods and the hill here. Were an inspiration for Beatrix Potter. Mrs. Tiggy Winkle used to live on that hill and hang her washing out. The door for the kitchen was up in the woods here. I think that's quite a sort of key reference as well for the walk. I love things like that. Okay guys, that's us coming back down to civilization, closer to the road. Oh my god, look at Skiddaw. Looks amazing. Apologies for the view. I've put my tripod away, so you're at arm's length. Yeah, so I'm gonna trudge back up to Keswick in the distance there. It's going to be a couple of hours, I think, or an hour and a half to walk from here to there. But it's all road and paths, so you're not going to want to see that. That was a really good walk. I'm really glad I picked that option. Not only for seeing the plaque of Thomas Leonard, but to do the legendary Catbells Maiden Moor. Another one's ticked off the list, another QMD towards the mountain lead. Yeah, so all in all, I think I said about 15 kilometres, about 1,500 feet elevation up and down between Maiden Moor and Catbells and the rest of them. Not an easy walk at all. There's some quite intense scrambling at places. So yeah, hands on rock at a good few points getting up onto Catbells. Sorry, coming down off of Catbells. If you went from the Keswick end, going up onto Catbells would be hands on rock. But there are a few other routes up. But what I'll do, as per usual, is create a PDF with the GPX, and I'll upload that to Ko-fi if you would like it. There should be a link there about now. I'll put in a bit of the story for Thomas Leonard, Thomas Arthur, can't remember which way around it went now, and a couple of the stories about the naming of Catbells, and my little mythical maps with a few cats. So yeah, sorry for the shaking, got a bit of tennis elbow going on and trying to hold the phone, it just started shaking. So yeah, I'll upload the PDF to Ko-fi. Again, I'll put the QR code there if you would like to do that. I do put them up with a recommended £1.99 or something like that, but they are also downloadable free or for whatever other donation you'd like to give to help me do these walks. As ever, if you like this video and you're not subscribed, please hit the like button, it really does help. Subscribe to the channel, get me out there for others to see these kinds of walk. And if you're out walking anywhere, I don't mean just this walk, please drop me a comment below and let me know that what you're doing. I'll be really interested. I'm enjoying the lakes. There might be a few more lakes walks coming in the future, but I won't abandon Wales and Scotland completely. Right guys, thanks very much for joining me. It's been a really nice day. Ta-da.